Imagine a book so ancient, it has traversed thousands of years and cultures. A text considered the oldest printed book in the world. And yet, its ideas remain more relevant than ever. What is its secret? Today, we'll dive into the Diamond Sutra, a diamond of wisdom and one of the most significant Buddhist texts. We'll explore how this small book managed to shape the course of Buddhism, inspire philosophies, and show us the path to the essence of things. And ultimately, we'll ask ourselves, could it be that the greatest truths are hidden in the simplest words? The Diamond Sutra isn't just a text, it's a monument of wisdom and history. Its full name is Vajrakirika Prajnaparamita Sutra, meaning the sutra that cuts like a diamond through perfect wisdom. This name isn't random. Just as a diamond cuts even the hardest material, so the sutra promises to cut through ignorance and illusions that cloud human awareness. The text is believed to have been written down around the 4th or 5th century CE based on older oral traditions. However, its importance doesn't end there. The world's oldest surviving printed book is, in fact, the Diamond Sutra. In 868 CE in China, it was printed in a woodblock scroll and today is preserved in the British Library. This fact alone reveals the deep honor and respect it received from the faithful. But why was it so important? Why did monks and devotees go to such lengths to reproduce and preserve it for centuries? The answer lies in its very message. The Diamond Sutra teaches the concept of emptiness, shunyata, and the idea that all phenomena are transient and without inherent essence. It challenges readers to see the world beyond labels and superficial impressions, to see the truth with clear eyes. Within its pages, the Buddha speaks with his patient student, Subhuti, revealing that even the most sacred teachings shouldn't be clung to as absolute. Wisdom isn't about memorizing. It's about understanding and letting go of what weighs you down. So the Diamond Sutra isn't merely a book. It's a living example of how ideas can change the world, and perhaps, if we're willing, change us too. And you? Are you ready to look beyond appearances and touch the essence of life? Because, as the Diamond Sutra reminds us, only when the mind becomes clear like a diamond can we see the real world that lies hidden behind illusions. At the heart of the Diamond Sutra lies a concept that shatters the limits of thought, emptiness, or in Sanskrit, shunyata. But what does this idea really mean? And why has it inspired Buddhist philosophy so deeply? Emptiness, as taught in the Diamond Sutra, isn't just absence or nothingness. It's the understanding that all phenomena are transient, without permanent essence. Like waves in the ocean that appear and disappear, so too do the things around us, even our thoughts and beliefs, come and go. This doesn't mean that nothing has value. On the contrary, it invites us to see that everything is interconnected, fluid, and open to change. In the Diamond Sutra, the Buddha shows that even his teachings are just tools, like fingers pointing at the moon. We shouldn't cling to the words themselves, but look beyond them, to the light they reveal. In this way, emptiness isn't a denial of life. It's a mirror that reflects how our attachment to rigid beliefs keeps us trapped. When we begin to see the world through the lens of emptiness, we discover freedom from fear and obsession. Life is no longer a rigid path, but a dance of constant transformation. This is the gift of the Diamond Sutra, an invitation to live more lightly, more mindfully, and more freely. After understanding the core teaching of the Diamond Sutra, it's worth exploring how this teaching is conveyed through its unique structure. The text itself is framed as a dialogue, a living conversation between the Buddha and his disciple, Subhuti. This form isn't random. The question and answer dynamic creates a rhythm that invites us to think, not just to accept. The language of the Diamond Sutra is simple, almost minimalist. But that doesn't mean it's lacking. Every word has purpose. Every phrase is like a strike of a diamond against a stone of ignorance. The text's repetitive form, where the same phrase appears again and again, is a tool, a reminder to keep our mind focused, like a bell ringing to wake us up. This poetic simplicity helps us dive deeper into the meanings without getting lost in complicated words. The Diamond Sutra knows that the deepest truths require simplicity, not unnecessary decoration. So it keeps the language clean and direct, making the reader engage with the words as if they were a mirror. Within this style, we can feel the very nature of the teaching, calm but sharp as a diamond. It's an invitation not to get lost in words, but to turn inward, to where the deepest questions are waiting for answers. The Diamond Sutra might seem like an ancient, distant text, yet its ideas are incredibly modern and practical. So how can we bring this wisdom into our daily lives? First of all, the idea of non-attachment shows us how to deal with challenges. We often get caught up in the idea that we must control everything: our plans, our beliefs, even our self-image. The Diamond Sutra reminds us that when we let go of this clinging, we breathe more freely. We learn to see things as they truly are, without the weight of desire or fear. Moreover, the idea that everything is fleeting, that even the most important moments pass, calls us to live more mindfully, not to take anything for granted, but to cherish the present. This doesn't mean indifference. Rather, it's a deep care for what we have right in front of us. Small, everyday acts, a smile to a stranger, a bit of patience in a tough moment, become pieces of this wisdom. We don't need to retreat to monasteries to understand the message of the Diamond Sutra. It's enough to remember that every moment is unique, precious, and ultimately transient. In this way, the Diamond Sutra becomes not just a sacred text, but a mirror that shows us how to live more lightly, more authentically, and maybe to remember that the deepest teachings aren't just to be read, but to be lived. The Diamond Sutra didn't remain just a religious text. It became an inspiration for generations of philosophers, artists, and spiritual seekers. Its influence crossed the borders of Asia, traveling to China, Japan, and even the West. In China, the Diamond Sutra became closely linked with the Chan Zen school. Zen masters saw it as a mirror of direct insight, to cut through illusions like a diamond cuts the hardest material. This simple, clear wisdom infused the art of meditation and the writing of poems that don't describe but rather hint. Calligraphy, especially in Japan, found an endless source of inspiration in the Diamond Sutra. Calligraphers saw in its words the perfect balance, strict form, yet freedom of movement. Every character wasn't just a letter, it was an act of spiritual concentration. In the modern era, the Diamond Sutra continues to inspire thinkers and artists searching for ways to express emptiness and the true essence of things. From poetry and photography to psychology and philosophy, its teachings on non-attachment and the fluidity of reality remain alive. Thus, the Diamond Sutra proves that an ancient text can travel through time and speak again and again to the hearts of those who seek the truth. Perhaps its most powerful lesson is this: when you see the world as it is, fleeting, empty, alive, true creation is born. In closing, today we journeyed through the pages of the Diamond Sutra and discovered its history, the deep meaning of emptiness, and the unique structure that makes it shine even today. We learned how this ancient text is not just a book, but a mirror that invites us to look within and let go of the illusions that weigh us down. We saw how the ideas of the Diamond Sutra remain alive not just in philosophy and the arts, but in every small act, through patience, kindness, and the quest for a more mindful, freer life. If you enjoyed this journey into the world of ideas, give this video a like and leave me a comment sharing which moment or idea resonated with you the most. And of course, if you'd like to keep exploring these philosophical journeys together, hit the subscribe button. It helps us keep going and bring a bit more wisdom into our daily lives. Until the next video, remember, the truth isn't in the words, but in the light that hides behind them.